Hi, I'm Dr. Dorothea Schlesinger. I'm a clinical endocrinologist. I own a clinical endocrinology practice in Berlin, Germany. This podcast is, however, separate to my clinical practice. It is a part of my desire to bring at zero cost information about endocrinology to the general public. Today we will cover the latest research regarding endocrine disruptors and the function of our adrenal gland. You might ask yourself at first, why is she wanting to talk about endocrine disruptors and how is that related to my life and my health? Endocrine disruptors are common. Those are actually chemicals or mixture of chemicals that can interfere with your hormones. So let me explain it to you in more detail. Those endocrine disrupting chemicals, also called EDCs, are actually everywhere. So they're very common. They are in your shampoo, your clinic products, or even your kids' toys. And indeed, these studies confirm that over 90% of us have these toxins floating in our bodies right now. And actually, kids are getting hit hardest because their bodies are still developing. So please understand the problem. There are 85,000 synthetic chemicals in the circulation, and about over 1,000 are confirmed troublemakers for your hormones. So you might be sitting there, how common is it actually? And am I being exposed to it? So what are the usual suspects? Those are flame retardants, forever chemicals, PFAS is the abbreviation for it, pesticides and plastics like bisphenols and phthalates. What is the health impact? It's actually brutal. It is linked to autism, it is linked to infertility, it is linked to diabetes and also cancer. And we now know, based on the scientific research, that the adrenal glands are ground zero for the damage. Why adrenals? I will explain it in very detail. Adrenals are blood highway. These glands get 20 times more blood flow per gram than muscle tissue. It basically means that the toxins arrive fast at those organs. What we might all not know, that adrenal glands are really a fat magnet. They hoard cholesterol to make stress hormones. They are also partially a steroid factory. The job is to pump out cortisol and also sex hormones. What is the bottom line? Why are we talking about it even? These chemicals aren't just bad. They are just dismantling your stress response system. So let me tell you the cold hard truth about your adrenals. These tiny glands are your body's steroid factory. They are pumping out cortisol, which is the stress hormone, aldosterone, blood pressure regulation, and also other hormones. But here's where it gets difficult and somehow hard to understand. The very tools your adrenal use to make steroids, meaning the cytochrome P450 enzymes, they double as toxin activators. Example, they can turn DMBA, which is a nasty chemical, into a cancer-causing missile. Also, the other thing I want to mention is that making steroids in the adrenal glands actually generates free radicals. And free radicals, as you might know, are unstable molecules that basically trash your cells. And if you add toxins to the mix, now you've got a Molotov cocktail for adrenal damage. And meanwhile, those chemicals are really damaging your adrenals. So let's name them. There are 4 main categories of endocrine disruptors that affect your adrenal glands. Number 1 are the flame retardants, which are found in couches and electronics. Number 2 is bisphenols, which are found in plastic and receipts. Yes, receipts. Phthalates, which are found in perfumes, in vinyl flooring. And finally, number 4 is the microplastics, found in bottled water as well as seafood. So you've been listening in and trying to comprehend this quite a complex issue, and now you sit there and think, well, I've heard of it, but how does it relate to me and my care, my health, and why should I be interested and why should I even care? Well, as many of us suffer from fatigue, fertility issues, and we know that your adrenals control your energy, control your metabolism, and control your stress response. So if you poison them with those endocrine disruptors, it's really a ticking time bomb for a chronic disease. What I'm trying to say here, this isn't just science. It's a silent war on your body's survival toolkit. So let's break it down a little bit more. Number one, the flame retardants, the toxic shell game. Basically, the authorities banned the PBDEs for causing adrenal damage, but they swapped it in OPEEs, chemicals that are just as dangerous. They can cause adrenal hypertrophy. Basically, it's when the glands swell, like overworked engines. Sex-specific sabotage. Men get potassium channel chaos, which is messing with the aldosterone production. Women get cholesterol production crashes. Tumor risk. It's been shown in rat studies, so there are no human studies for that. But we know that high dose of OPEs caused adrenal tumors in rats. There's one study in humans that links OPEs to spiking cortisol level. And let me tell you something, there's zero regulations on that. Then number two, bisphenols. BPA isn't gone. That's the generational betrayal. It's just changed its name. BPS, BPF, BPAF. Now poison your seeds, plasticware and your kids' toys. And the hypothalamic pituitary axis is hijacked. Studies in animals, specifically in rats exposed to BPA, had 40-day adrenal swelling and cortisol spikes. Grandkids of exposed rats inherited thinner adrenal zones and also hormone chaos. I know you would say it's all animal studies, but still, isn't that interesting? And here's the one really interesting thing. Women with adrenal tumors have actually twice higher BPA levels. Boys exposed in utero show crashing cortisol. Bottom line, swap a BPA for analogs. It's like replacing lead paint with arsenic. Number three, phthalates, the everywhere chemical scam. DEHP got banned in baby toys, so it got rebranded. And the alternatives are really even worse. Adrenal shrink wrap in utero exposure thins adrenal zones and slashes corticosterone. Number two, oxidative stress overload. Phthalate metabolites trigger adrenal cell suicide via free radicals. Human havoc. Pregnant women, phthalate levels predict kids' cortisol dysregulation. Boys, lower androgens, and in girls, hormone spikes. Isn't that interesting? The statistics showed 35% jump in teen cortisol levels per quartile of childhood phthalate exposure. And finally, the microplastics, the invisible adrenal assassins. Your water bottle is shooting nanoplastic bullets at your adrenals. At the cellular level, nanoparticles nest near cell nuclei, spiking estrogen and progesterone, mitochondrial meltdown. It has been shown in rat studies actually that adrenal were swollen just after 4 weeks of exposure. Hypothalamus pituitary axis collapse. Plastics drop cortisol 30% while spiking ACTH, your body's stress alarm. We need to see it with caution. There are at this point 0 human studies. We're talking about all animals, specifically rat studies. What is the bigger picture? The bigger picture is that we need more regulations. More regulations on what gets into the products we use, into the food we consume. Your adrenals, the body stress command center, are taking fire from flame retardants in your couch, bisphenols in your receipts, phthalates in your shampoo, and microplastics in your water. So what can you do right now? You can remove the plastic food containers and synthetic fabrics from your daily routine. And remember, your adrenals aren't just glands. They are the CEO of your survival. Protect them like your life depends on it, because it does.